It's a Minimalist Monday edition of Optimal Living Daily, episode 409, 3 Lies That Kept Me From Simplifying My Life by Allison Fallon with BecomingMinimalist.com, and I'm Justin Malik. This is the podcast where I act as your personal narrator for free, and today's minimalism post comes from Joshua Becker's site, Becoming Minimalist, but it's a guest post from Allison Fallon, who has her own site, appropriately named AllisonFallon.com, where she writes about a bunch of different topics like health, relationships, creativity, and more. And before we get into today's post, big thanks to FreshBooks for sponsoring today's episode. They launched a new version of their cloud accounting software, and you can get a month to use all of their features for free, no credit card necessary, if you come by freshbooks.com/living and enter Optimal Living Daily in the How Did You Hear About Us section. And with that, let's get to the post as we optimize your life. 3 Lies That Kept Me From Simplifying My Life by Allison Fallon with BecomingMinimalist.com. It all started when a friend asked me this question: what would you do with your life if you didn't have to worry about money? My answer was, I would quit my job, move out of my apartment, sell all my things, visit all 50 states, and write a book about it. The only problem was, once I said the words out loud, I realized how much I really wanted to do it. Was it possible? Could I simplify my possessions to only what would fit in my car, leave behind friends and family, change my buying habits, and quit many of the commitments that were cluttering up my life? Could I live out of a car for a year of my life? I wasn't sure. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized there were 3 main lies keeping me from simplifying my life to follow my dreams. The lies went like this: this is not how you do it. At the same time I was dreaming about going on a year-long road trip, I was also shopping for a house and telling myself secretly that if I went on a crazy road trip, I would never get married or have a good life. After all, this was how you do it. This is how you grow up and become an adult. No potential friend or husband or boss would ever take me seriously if I quit my job and sold all of my stuff. That was moving backwards, wasn't it? But where did I get the idea that buying a house and working a job I didn't enjoy was how you do it? What was it exactly? And who was you? It couldn't be me because I was miserable. Once I gave up the idea that I had to follow a certain prescribed set of actions in order to look like an adult, I was released to do what I really wanted to do and become who I really wanted to be. And guess what? If I would never have gone on the road trip, I would never have met my husband, who read my story and said to himself, I have to meet that girl. That's hot. His words, not mine. People will reject me if I don't have nice stuff. This is a lie I've had to root out over and over again in my journey. It always seems to grow back. But somehow I've gotten the impression that unless I have pretty clothes and a nice house with a hot tub and a boat I can use to take friends out on the weekend, people will reject me. Think for a minute about the faulty logic in this reasoning. When I take a minute to think about the people I like the most and the qualities I appreciate about each of them, kind, hospitable, gracious, good listener, patient, I don't think for a single minute about the stuff they have. And if people accept me because of the stuff I have and can share with them, they don't really accept me at all. Simplifying my life has given me an opportunity to grow up and grow out of my deep-rooted insecurity in this area. The truth is, when I simplified my life, I actually gained more friends, not less, and my relationships became deeper and more meaningful. I was less stressed and more fun to be around and more secure with myself, so less likely to use others for what they could give me. Simplicity and authenticity are attractive qualities. I won't be able to take care of myself. I worried that if I simplified my life, I would have to sacrifice my independence and lean on others to support me. I was terrified I wouldn't be able to pay my bills or provide the things I needed to live. But when I allowed myself to sit down and think about it, I realized I already depended on other people for all kinds of things, and that depending on others wasn't a bad thing. Simplifying my life gave me the opportunity to lean into this reality and to grow in my ability to give gifts and to receive them. Also, living a simple life didn't make it more difficult for me to pay my bills or provide the things I needed. It actually made it easier. The less stuff I had, the less debt I had, and the less stressed I felt over a job I hated. The more prepared I felt to take care of myself emotionally and practically, and the less I had to depend on others to hold together my fractured pieces. Once I realized how these thoughts and ideas had been dictating my life for so long and counteracted them with the truth, I was able to do what I wanted to do all along. I quit my job, moved out of my apartment, and spent a year driving across the country to accomplish my lifelong dream of writing a book. Now, I'm not just packing light for a long road trip, I'm living my life with way less baggage. I've never regretted it for a minute. You just listened to the post titled 3 Lies That Kept Me from Simplifying My Life by Allison Fallon with BecomingMinimalist.com. And that question at the beginning of the post, if you're a longtime oldie, it's something that I've asked you before, and something similar, not quite the exact question that she was asked, but if you were to win the lottery, what would you do with your life? That's something we should think about often, and it could definitely have a big impact on our life and how we live it. And once again, I'm really happy that this episode has been sponsored by FreshBooks, who I use for my own business accounting. More and more people are owning their own businesses or making money with side hustles, so many, and there aren't great systems in place to help us. I've heard claims that there are easy to use tools, but I haven't found any that are as simple as FreshBooks. Their site is one of the few that I actually enjoy logging into. They made it really easy to deal with our everyday paperwork, expenses, invoicing, time tracking, and more. And they redesigned their site from the ground up so that it matches exactly how we work. Come by and check it out for yourself. You don't need a credit card, and you can try out all of their features for free for a month, thanks to their support of the show. Just come by freshbooks.com/living and enter Optimal Living Daily in the How Did You Hear About Us section. I do this podcast to support you, and FreshBooks is now supporting me. So if you support FreshBooks, it'll close up that circle and make everyone happy. So again, come by freshbooks.com/living to try it out. And I think that's enough for today. It's Monday. I hope you have a nice start to your week, and I'll catch you next time where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.